My name is Sully, better known as Pius. I can help with surahs so I can recite.
My name is Suhaila, memorizing surahs, reading the Quran, and practicing the Sunnah.
My name is Mommy, better known as Umi. Islamic education is key to the family. We tune in every day to learn something new, and Sunnahfollowers is helping us, and it could help you too. Tune in every day for new programming.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wake up in the morning, hands and feet get wet. My Lord, get wet, get wet. My Lord, wet. My Lord, wet. My Lord. Wake up in the morning, hands and feet get wet. Get ready for our conversation deep and in depth. Obligations are serious and need to be met. So I prepare so I won't forget. Go ahead and make a good intention. Yeah, yeah. Get right for some good things. Yeah, make a donation. Jannah is the goal. Jannah is the goal. Jannah is the goal. Hey, the first one. Who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet? Now, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're one of those people that have been trying to get information and you come across this, or even this, all right, take a listen.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sister Layla Nashiba, the Managing Director and founder of Sunnahfollowers Online Islamic University. As you know, we have classes every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we cover everything from Aqidah, which is your belief system, to Seerah, which are the stories of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the story of the companions. Please join us every day beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, DLive, Trovo, and Twitch. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Actions speak louder than words,
Sunnah following kids, come with me.
Work hard to get to like the prophet proper Aqidah, Quran and Sunnah, Quran and Sunnah, Minhaj and Aqidah, actions be louder than words. Say, as you see me pray, utter these words that you hear me say. Based on the Sunnah, worship Him, just follow Him.
Okay, am I live? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our class on how to perform the prayer. And by the way, this last commercial that I just played for the book for the children, for the Sunnahfollowers Kids program on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please purchase the book. That book is written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, and I'm going to be teaching the kids how to pray. The book can be purchased off of Amazon. It's called My First Salat. It's for kids from kindergarten to the 3rd grade. It has puzzles in it and quizzes and things that we're going to go over together in the class. So please purchase the book. It's on Amazon. It's $24. The book is over 300 pages. So it is well worth the price, well worth the money. Okay, because I'll begin that class in a couple of weeks, inshallah. So this is our class on how to perform the prayer. And the last time we met for this class, we spoke about the voluntary prayers. First of all, who can answer this question? Are we obligated? Is it an obligation for us to perform the Sunnah prayers? Is it an obligation? Are we obligated as Muslims to pray the Sunnah prayers or the voluntary prayers? Who can answer that? Is that an obligation?
No, we're not.
Okay, good job. Good job. No, we are not obligated. We're not obligated to perform those prayers. So why do we pray them? What's the point then? If we don't have to pray them, why even bother with them?
We do it because we love the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We want to follow and implement what he did the best that we can.
That's not really the answer. That's what everybody says, but that's not really the answer. Anyone else? We talked about
we do it because it if we mess up in our prayers or if we do anything, Allah looks over that because we have the Sunnah prayers that would correct it.
Exactly. I want y'all to write that answer down. The correct answer. Why is it that we perform the Sunnah prayers? It's because they make up for any mistakes that we make in our obligatory prayer. Everybody got that? So write that down. What's the purpose? We pray them because if we, remember the hadith. What's the source? Bukhari, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said a man will make salat and may walk away with only half the reward or a third of the reward or no reward at all from that prayer because of his, how he performed it, his concentration. So what Allah will do on the day of judgment is he will ask, do we have any voluntary prayers? And if we do, he'll tell the angels to take from that to make up the difference of the mistakes or the shortage of our obligatory ones. So that's the correct answer. I want y'all to remember that. A lot of people saying, because the prophet did. No, that ain't why. Okay, it's because of this. There's a reason. Whenever Allah tells us what we should do or what we must do, there's a reason. Okay, and even though we don't have to do the voluntary prayers, Allah says we should. And there's a reason why. Okay, it's for our betterment. Okay, so, and we talked about how the voluntary prayers can be divided up or they fall into 2 categories. Can anybody remember that? That's the last thing we talked about the last time we met for this class. Can anybody remember what are the 2 categories of voluntary prayers? Can anybody remember that?
There's the general Sunnah prayers, and then I forgot the word, but it's like the established ones. So like,
good job. What's the difference?
General is you can pray it however many rakats you want, whenever you want. But established ones they have certain rakats you have to do. For example, the Sunnah prayers after the hood.
MashaAllah. I'm so proud of you, Aya. You got that. I didn't think y'all remembered that because I think somebody called me and I didn't go into detail like I wanted to on that. But you got it. MashaAllah. I guess I explained it. But that's exactly correct. The 2 different categories, the general voluntary prayers, these are the ones that don't have a specific amount of rakats. They can be as many rakats as you want. An example of a general voluntary prayer is the night prayer. The night prayer, you can perform as many rakats as you want. Okay, or the duha prayer, where the duha should be in 2 or 4. Okay, but those are like general, but specific. These are specific voluntary prayers that are supposed to be prayed or performed at a specific time, they may have a specific number as well. And that's what we're going to be speaking about today. The specific voluntary prayers of Fajr. And the last time we met, I had a couple of people ask me about the 2 rakats of Fajr, the 2 voluntary rakats. And I told you I didn't want to go into detail with the answer because I was going to talk about it today. Well, mashallah, you're going to get your answer now, because let me put the PowerPoint up. I meant to change something on the PowerPoint too. That's okay. I'll change it later. Okay. Okay, today we're going to speak about the Sunnah, or the voluntary prayers of the voluntary rakats of Fajr. I meant to put that on the title, but I was talking and didn't. So let's take a look at it. Now, the voluntary prayers of Fajr. These are 2 specific rakats, and they are 2 in number. That means you can only perform 2 because it's specific. Specific means a specific number. Okay, and they have to be performed at a specific time. And this was the question you guys asked me about the last time we met. Let me make this bigger. I don't like the font. This I'm copying from my PowerPoint from before, and the font on my old PowerPoint is weird. I mean, I can't change it. Okay, and we have a lot of hadith that talk about the virtues. Again, whenever Allah tells us that we should do something, or we must do something, there's a reason. Or he's going to give us encouragement. He's going to give us words of benefit, rewards of benefit as encouragement. So there's numerous hadiths that speak about the virtues of praying, the Sunnah prayers of Fajr. For example, we have this authentic hadith, whereas Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, the wife of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said the 2 rakats, and they are performed before Fajr. Let me emphasize this. The 2 rakats of Fajr are performed before Fajr, not after Fajr. She said the 2 rakats are performed before Fajr. The Prophet said that they are more dearer to him than the entire world. In other words, he loved to make them. He loved to perform those 2 rakats, the 2 Sunnah rakats of Fajr. Okay, and what's the source? Those are all the sources. This is also from Sahih Muslim and others. Also, we have another hadith where Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, said, do not leave performing the 2 rakats of the Fajr prayer, even if you are being attacked by an army. So that shows the importance of the 2 Oops, what did I do? What happened? Did I just... Uh-oh, something happened to me, guys. Hold on. Oh, where am I? What happened? Oh, what happened? I'm sorry, I hit a button. Wait a minute. I don't know what I did. That was weird. Oh, I'm using a different mic. I hit the wrong mouse. So, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged us to try to make those 2 rakats of Fajr. And remember, they are only 2 in number. This is a specific sunnah. 2 rakats before, not after Fajr, before. Also, we have another hadith where Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not as particular about performing any voluntary prayer as he was with the 2 rakats before Fajr. This is also authentic, Bukhari and Muslim and others. Also, she said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the 2 rakats performed before the Fajr prayer are better than anything in this world and anything that this world contains. And again, she said she never saw him and take haste in doing any good deed like he did those 2 rakats. So the 2 rakats of Fajr, they are performed before the Fajr prayer. And when we make them quickly. This was the question that one of the sisters asked me the other day. Make them quickly. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the sun rises. You want to make the Fajr prayer before the sun rises. You don't want to be performing your Fajr when the devil worshipers are praying. So they should be performed quickly. And that's how the prophet would do. He would make a short recitation in the 2 rakats before the Fajr. Listen to what his wife Hafsa, may Allah be pleased with her, said. She said the prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would pray the 2 rakats of Fajr before the dawn in my house. He would pray the 2 sunnahs of Fajr before the Fajr prayer. And he would make them quickly. Okay, and the source of these are all authentic. This is also Bukhari and Muslim and others. Also, Aisha said the same thing. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would perform the 2 sunnah rakats of Fajr before the Fajr prayer quickly. In fact, so quick that she used to wonder, did you recite the Fatiha? And of course he did, because there is no prayer without the Fatiha. But you want to make those 2 rakats quickly so we can get to the mosque and make Fajr prayer before the sun rises. Everybody got that? So now what I'm going to do is speak about how our prophet performed. Okay? In the first rakat, after al-Fatiha, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recite the sentence. He would say, we believe in Allah and the revelation given to us and what was revealed to Abraham, Ismail, Isaac, Jacob, and the tribes, and also in what was given to Moses and Jesus, and what was given to the prophets from their Lord, and we do not differentiate between any of them, and we are Muslims. That's what he would say in the first rakat after the Fatiha. And in the second rakat after the Fatiha, he would say, "O people of the book, come to a statement that is common between us and you, that we shall not worship any except Allah, and that we shall not associate any partners with him, and that we shall not take others as Lord besides him. And if they turn away, then say, bear witness that we are they who have surrendered unto him." Also, we have another hadith where the prophet would say we believe in Allah. Okay? And in the second rakat, he would say, but when Jesus became conscious of their disbelief, he cried, "Who will be my helpers in the cause of Allah?" And the disciples said, "We will be Allah's helpers." Subhanallah. And if there's any Christians out there listening, again, this shows how we love Jesus, how our prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved Jesus. Okay? And again, guys, there is no prayer without al-Fatiha. All you have to do is recite al-Fatiha, and you don't have to recite any other verses of the Quran after that. And that's also from Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her. She said that just saying al-Fatiha in each rakat is sufficient. You don't have to recite no other verses of the Quran. Okay? Now, let's talk about supplication. supplicating after finishing the 2 Sunnah Rakats before the Fajr. We have this hadith that's narrated by one of the companions, Ibn Usama, on the authority of his father, that his father had prayed the 2 rakats, the 2 Sunnah Rakats before the Fajr prayer, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was praying the 2 rakat close to him, and he heard the Prophet say while he was sitting, "O Allah, Lord of Jibril, Israfil, Michael, and Muhammad the Prophet, I seek refuge in you from the hellfire 3 times." He also records that Anas said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever says on Friday morning before the Fajr prayer, I seek the forgiveness of Allah, there is no God except him, the living, the sustaining, and I repent unto him 3 times, Allah will forgive your sins even if they were as abundant as the foam on the sea." So these are some supplications, which are really words of praise and glorification. Remember, I tell you guys all the time, we don't make personal supplications after praying. You see a lot of Muslims making personal supplications after they complete their salat. That's not the way of the Prophet. Your personal supplications should be recited when you're prostrating, or you can recite them when you're bowing. But after the prayer is over, what the Prophet Muhammad would do is he would glorify and praise Allah with words like this: "O Allah, Lord of Jibril, Lord of Israel." This is glorifying Allah. This is praising Allah. This is not a personal supplication. Or he would say, "There is no God except you, Allah. You are the living, you are the sustaining, you are this." That's praising and glorifying Allah. So for your personal supplications, guys, you should make them during the prayer, not after the prayer. And there's nothing from the Quran, nothing from the authentic Sunnah that says our Prophet Muhammad would blow in his hands and wipe over his face and body after doing this. This is all innovation. When you guys see Muslims doing that, they're innovating. Okay? Now, it's also from the Sunnah of the Prophet. And what does that mean? That means you don't have to do this. But also, it's from the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he would, after making the 2 Sunnah Rakats before Fajr, he would lie down until it was time for the Adhan, until it was time for the Fajr prayer. That's based on this hadith of Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her. She said after the Prophet had prayed the 2 Sunnah Rakats of the pre-Fajr prayer, he would lie down on his right side. Okay, but he wouldn't go to sleep. He would just lie down. Now, does that mean that you and I have to go lie down after making those Sunnah Rakats? No. Especially if you at work. I used to work 3rd shift. Again, if I laid down, I'd be fired. Okay? So this is not something that we have to do. But it's just the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When I used to be married, the last time I was married, when I was married to Sheikh Atlee loves to follow the Sunnah. And he would always do that. I'll never forget it. You know, he would make those 2. He would wake up and make those 2 sunnahs. He would lie down for a second. And then he'd get up and go to the mosque to perform the Fajr prayer. Yeah, that's what Sheikh Atlee used to do. Because I was close to the mosque. He would lie down He would make them 2 Sunnah Rakats, lie down, and get up and go to the mosque and make the Fajr. He was always a stickler for the Sunnah. May Allah bless him and forgive him of his sins. Ameen. We have this hadith here, whereas Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, tells us that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever fails to pray the 2 Sunnah Rakats before the Fajr prayer until the sun rises, he should then pray them. So this is a question that a lot of people ask. Let me explain this hadith. And I'm going to throw in the witr prayer too. Oftentimes we get questions from people, if it's part of your habit, you always make those 2 Sunnah Rakats. But say one day you overslept. You didn't wake up in enough time to make the 2 Sunnahs. So, and the sun's about to rise. So you just get up and you make Fajr. Can you perform the 2 Sunnahs afterwards? Yes. That's what this is talking about. If it's part of your regular habit, just like with the witr prayer, say it's part of your regular habit. You make the witr prayer every night, but one night you just woke up late. Can I make the witr prayer after Fajr? Yes. Well, it's the same with these 2 Sunnah Rakats. If you woke up too late, you overslept and woke up too late to make the 2 Sunnahs before, then you can make them after. That's what this is saying. And I hope that's clear to everyone. If it's part of your regular habit. Okay? And that's based on all these hadiths here. And I know the font on here is so bad. This is my old PowerPoint stuff, and I can't make it different. Okay, we have this hadith of Ibn Umar. He tells us that he went to the Fajr prayer and he found the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam praying Fajr. Although he himself had not prayed the Sunnah prayer, he joined the Prophet and prayed with him. When he finished the Fajr, he prayed the 2 Rakats. And then the Prophet passed by him and asked, what prayer are you performing after Fajr? And he said, you know, what had happened. And the Prophet was quiet for a minute and didn't say anything bad against it. Okay, so we can see that this is the dalil, that if it's part of your habit, you know, to make those 2 rakats or even the witr prayer itself, okay, and you oversleep, can I make those 2 rakats after the Fajr prayer? Or can I make my witr after the Fajr prayer? The answer is yes. And I hope this is clear. So I'm going to stop right here for today. I just wanted tonight, I just wanted to go over the Sunnahs of Fajr. Remember, this is a specific voluntary prayer. The Sunnahs of Fajr is known as a specific voluntary prayer, meaning that it must be performed at a specific time, a specific way. And the way is 2 rakats. The time is before Fajr. And make them quick. If you want to lie down after making those 2 sunnahs before you pray Fajr, you can, but you don't have to. Okay? And if you should oversleep that night and wake up too late to make those sunnahs, you can perform them after the Fajr prayer. A lot of reward in those 2 rakats. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question. Just so I understand, do we know why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved these 2 rakats more than the other?
No, and don't worry about. Remember those questions of why. When we get questions about why, what do? We say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan energy. Yeah. It doesn't matter. He just liked to pray them. Now don't try to figure out why, who. There's just a lot of virtues in them. He didn't tell us why. He just said they're more beloved to me than anything else. Just like honey. He loved honey. He didn't tell us why he liked honey. Yeah, all those questions about why, y'all, A'udhu Billahi, get them out your mind. Just accept it and keep it moving. Okay, and I'm glad she asked that. So you guys, that's another thing we talked about. If you get those type of questions about the names and attributes of Allah, the same thing. Names and attributes of Allah, why? A'udhu Billahi, keep it moving. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, Amina, you're asking a question that y'all should know the answer to. Let me ask this question. And I'm glad you asked it because I bet you other people got that question too. When do we perform the Sunnah Rakats for a prayer? When do we perform the Sunnah Rakats for Fajr? Can anybody tell me? What time do we perform the Sunnah Rakats for Fajr? Can any Muslim here answer that?
After the first azan is full.
What adhan? What do you mean by first adhan? I want you to be descriptive. When do we perform the Sunnah Rakats of Fajr?
2 rakats before Fajr.
That ain't the question. That ain't the question.
Oh,
Let's try it again. Let me ask
When
this.
the prayer comes in.
What does that mean? When does the
When-
prayer come? Let me do it this way. Hello? When do we perform the Sunnah Rakats of Dhuhr?
that's a rakats.
When do we perform the Sunnah Rakats of Dhuhr?
Oops.
What's wrong with you people?
Oh my gosh.
I got all these Muslims here and y'all don't know when y'all perform the Sunnah Rakats for Dhuhr?
After the azan of Dhuhr is full.
After the Adhan is called. You cannot, didn't we talk about that? You cannot perform a prayer before it's time. Every prayer has a fixed time. Every prayer begins when the Adhan is called. And every prayer ends when the Adhan for the next is called. So, when do I perform the 2 rakats or the sunnahs of Fajr? The name should tell you the answer.
The azan of Fajr is called.
You perform the 2 rakats or the sunnahs of Fajr after the Adhan for Fajr is called. If I perform those 2 rakats before the Adhan of Fajr, what did I do? I didn't pray Fajr. I didn't perform nothing to do with Fajr because it was before. So now let me ask this question. When do I perform the sunnahs of Dhuhr? Mina, when do you perform the sunnahs of Dhuhr?
When Dhuhr asks, when an Adhan is called.
Okay.
But I wasn't clear, so that's why.
When do you perform the sunnahs of Maghrib?
When an Adhan is called.
Not when. What's the correct English word y'all should be saying? Allahu Akbar. Am I praying while they calling the Adhan? Y'all got to think.
After the Adhan is
Yes, after the Adhan, guys. The prayer is not in until the Adhan is called. You wait till that Adhan is called. When it ends, then you pray the sunnahs of whatever prayer it is. Y'all understand? You do not pray a prayer before its time. And that prayer includes its sunnahs, because the sunnahs are part of that prayer. Common sense. Everybody got it? So not
Yeah, I
when
always
it's.
had that question. I had to ask. Okay.
I know you ain't making no sunnahs before the adhan, are you?
No, because I don't even wake up that early. So
I'm
yeah,
not just clear. I'm talking about any sunnahs. I know ain't none of y'all praying no sunnahs before the adhan. It's just that y'all not thinking. You're not thinking, because I know none of y'all. I'm not. That's just like me. Okay, I'm gonna pray the 2 sunnahs now. Am I getting any reward for the sunnahs of Fajr? No, because it ain't time for Fajr.
No.
Y'all understand? Common sense. I want y'all to think, and I know ain't none of y'all doing that, but I want y'all to think. We have to take what we learn and apply it, ponder it, and put it in our heart. So, and I'm glad she brought that up, because the way she was thinking is how all the rest of y'all thinking. Y'all ain't thinking. So I'll make sure I talk about that tomorrow when we do this class, the next class too. So remember, guys, every Sunnah Rakat is performed after that Adhan. You can't do it before the Adhan. You have to wait till after the Adhan or whatever the prayer is. I cannot make the Sunnahs of Fajr now. Why not? Because it ain't time for Fajr. It's only 9:45. Fajr comes in at 6. I have to wait until the Adhan has been called for Fajr, and then I'll get up and make my 2 rakats. And if I want to lay down for a few seconds or a few minutes and then get up and pray, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. I'm gonna tell y'all why the prophet would lay down for a little bit. So there would be no mistake as to what prayer he was praying. Common sense. He would make those 2 rakats after the Adhan is called, and he lay down for a minute. Maybe the Fajr, let's say the Adhan for Fajr comes in at 6. Prophet Muhammad would probably tell the companions, meet me at the mosque at 6:30 for Fajr. So what the prophet would do is at 6 o'clock, when he would hear the Adhan from Bilal, that's when he'd get up, make his wudu, and perform the 2 voluntary sunnahs of Fajr. And then he would lay down with Aisha, talk to her for a minute. And then, what time is it? Okay, let me go lead the people in the Fajr prayer at 6:30. The same way your masjid does today. They'll call the Adhan and then do the prayer 15 minutes later or 30 minutes later, to allow people to get up and get it together and get to the mosque. Y'all remember that we talked about how you have to, the prophet said, allow the people enough time to get to the mosque. Remember that hadith when we talked about the prayers, Mina? The prophet said, allow the people enough time. So that's why he would lay down. He did all his sunnah prayers at home. Then he would lay down. Then he'd get up and go to the mosque and lead the people in whatever the congregational prayer is. But you don't do anything until after the Adhan has been called for that prayer. Y'all understand? So for you women who are married, your husband, if the mosque does the Fajr prayer at 6:30, you should be getting him out the house. He should do the Sunnah prayers with you. He can get up and do the Sunnah Rakats with his family, and then leave out to get to the mosque at 6 to perform with the brothers in congregation. That's how it's done. Does that make sense? Everybody understand? And that's what Sheikh Atlee used to do when I was married to him. He'd get up, make those 2 rakats. I'd make them 2 rakats with him. As a fact, I'd make them with him. Okay, then he lay down and we talked for a bit about what he's got to do and what I had to do, what I was going to teach. That's what it was, what I'm going to be teaching today. Because once Sheikh Atlee went to the mosque, he didn't come back. He stayed there for the whole day. Okay, and then he'd leave and go to the mosque, and he wouldn't come back until after Isha. Okay, he followed the sunnah of the prophet for real.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Because I'm seeing it's done in different nostrils, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
What about the combination prayer?
What the heck is a combination prayer? There's no such thing as a combination prayer.
When they in the nostril, for some, they used to say that you can combine like Zur and Asa.
What does that have to do with what we talking about here? This is the Fajr prayer.
Oh, nothing. It doesn't have anything to do with that.
Oh, okay, so what's your question about combining? That's a different topic. What about it?
Oh, I went for the topic.
We already covered that.
Okay, because I heard that you can those two salats can be if necessary.
Okay, remember we did the whole series on combining prayers, guys. What prayers you talking about combining, Sabrine?
Good answer.
Okay, what about it?
They said that you can combine those.
Only when?
If you travel.
Okay, under certain circumstances. That's a different topic that we covered. We talked about how Dur and Asr can be combined. Okay, and Maghrib and Isha can be combined under certain circumstances. But you cannot combine Fajr with anything. Fajr is prayed separate.
No. Yeah, they said never.
And the only time you can combine prayers is if you're sick, or if you're traveling, or if the weather is bad. But what does that have to do with what we talking about today?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay.
I was just seeing if you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can combine prayers under those circumstances.
Okay.
Okay, but this is the voluntaries, the Sunnah Rakats of Fajr. There's no combining Fajr, guys. Yes, Fajr that's the only prayer that's not combined.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. That you never combine Fajr with another prayer.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly, George. The Prophet Muhammad, and we talked about that too. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to perform the Sunnah prayers at home. Remember, he said, do not turn your homes into a graveyard. So he would make the Sunnah Rakats of Fajr at home. And then he'd go to the mosque and lead the prayer. The same with Dur. He would make the Dur prayers at the Sunnahs of Dur at home. That's why you have to allow that time. That time when your masjid calls the adhan and then they have to allow time for people to get to the mosque and also to pray the Sunnahs at home. The Prophet would pray he would pray his Sunnahs at home and then go to the mosque and lead them in prayer. And then for the Dhuhr, he'd come home and pray the other two Sunnahs. And we'll talk about that because a lot of people ask, are there Sunnahs for Asr? The answer is no. But when people did see him praying 2 rakats, he was making up the 2 Sunnahs of Dhuhr that he missed because of fighting or something. But there are no Sunnah Rakats for Asr. And we're going to go over that when we talk about the Sunnahs related to that.
Yeah, I had heard that too. Never do that.
Okay, everybody else you got that, Edward? Yeah. So pray your Sunnah prayers at home, even for you brothers. I mean, if you got a mosque down the street from you, like I do, I don't have no husband now. But if I had a husband, he'd come home and pray his Sunnah prayers with me, and I'd kick him out to go to the mosque because the mosque is right at the corner of the street. He better go up to the mosque and make his prayers. You want to come live with me? Now, this is one of these Christians. He's back, guys, the Christian dude. Talking about he going to come and live with me. We don't live with people in Islam. We get married. Islam doesn't have that stuff. We marry in Islam. And yes, the men have to go to the mosque to pray. You marry a woman like Layla, she gonna kick you out to go pray at the mosque up the street. Ain't no excuse to not be there praying. Exactly. Yeah, any other questions? All right. Yes. Okay, guys. Well, no, everybody understand that Fajr. Girl, yeah. He gonna come here and stay with me. Please. Lord have a mercy. And by the way, for you Christian brothers, don't forget, y'all, bring all that for Dr. McBride tomorrow. He'll be here at 6 o'clock, inshallah. All right, guys, I'm going to close out for tonight. Inshallah, I'll see everybody tomorrow. And by the way, please donate to support us. If you guys enjoy coming here to learn Islam in its truthfulness with the understanding of the companions, please support us. You can go to PayPal me/Sunnahfollowers, or you can Cash App Sunnahfollowers, or you can do the Zelle donation using Layla, Laila, at sunnahfollowers.net. All right, I'm going to log out for tonight. Inshallah, I'll be here tomorrow at 6 for Dr. McBride's class. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Okay, let me end that.